Yeah, I did change, and I'm really glad I changed.
This one's wife. The pair of you can foxtrot Oscar. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. As I explained yesterday, this one's wife have engaged in once again telling you what to do. And I gave you the breakdown of why that behaviour is being engaged in, naturally driven by this one's wife's narcissism and the Prince of Pink Pancake's stupidity. It hasn't taken long for there to be a backlash to this, which just demonstrates the fact that many people object to a pair of dimwits issuing instructions on how they ought to behave, that they take exception to the fact that two unpopular individuals should be issuing a diktat of that nature through their foundation. This has been exemplified by the response that's contained in Radar Online, with Connor Samonte reporting they vowed not to endorse Kamala Harris or Donald Trump for the 2024 presidential election. Facade management, the supposed appearance of neutrality. But now, RadarOnline.com can reveal Prince Harry and this one's wife are under fire for speaking out about the upcoming race, and angry voters want them to leave the country. Yes, imagine that you think that you're popular and liked, and then your latest initiative results in people turning around and essentially wanting to form a mob with pitchforks and flaming torches, yelling, "You can fuck off! Set fire to his Fanta pubes! Get them out!" That naturally presents a significant threat to control for this one's wife and smashes against that facade that she generates. It also, once again, demonstrates the way that her narcissism propels her to try and do the same thing over and over again, that she doesn't meet with success, but she doesn't learn from it, because her narcissism isn't in the business of learning from past mistakes, it's in the business of the now, the instant, the moment. The report continues by explaining the Royal Renegades, in a statement to mark National Voter Registration Day, said, "Voting is not just a right, it's a fundamental way to influence the fate of our communities. At the Archwell Foundation, we recognise that civic engagement, no matter one's political party, is at the heart of a more just and equitable world. By participating in initiatives like this, we aim to amplify the message that every voice matters." Harry and this one's wife also invited their followers to join us in this important effort and volunteer to write letters to unregistered voters. They added, "Together, let's make sure every eligible voter is informed and empowered to participate in shaping America's future." But the pair's voting initiative was met with immediate backlash. Pausing there. This backlash is demonstrative of just how unpopular these two are. It also is demonstrative of the fact that they don't recognise that lack of popularity. For Harry, he's always been able to enjoy people thinking well of him for the most part as a consequence of the way that he was being managed and the way that he behaved within the structure of the royal family. Now he has lost that guidance, and because he is in the awful shared fantasy with his narcissist wife, he keeps making poor decisions. As for this one's wife, we know that she keeps fucking up because her narcissism is obsessed, like any narcissist is, with control in the moment. And because she's not an evolved narcissist, she doesn't learn from the mistakes or think through the potential ramifications and consequences of what she does. She doesn't think, well, do you know what? It might not be a good idea for me to start telling everybody about how they should behave and what they should do, because I'm not particularly popular. I should just get on with doing some good works and not make a big song and dance about it. But of course she will never do that, because her form of narcissism is do this and tell everybody, do this and tell everybody, do this and tell everybody. Do an equitable shit and let everybody know. Be authentic in jerking off Harry, make everybody aware of it. The initiative was met with immediate backlash, especially because the Duke of Sussex is not even a US citizen, which, of course, if they had a modicum of intelligence, they would realise people might get a bit bent out of shape by being told to vote by somebody who's not a US citizen. But Dimwit and the Narcissist don't consider that. One furious ex-user responded, "Harry, you have no place involving yourself in American politics. Hashtag, go home, Harry, and straighten out your own business. Stay out of ours. We don't want to hear you." Another wrote, "This really, really pisses me off." A third, irritated ex-user scoffed, "He has absolutely no business getting involved in our country politics. And also the royals do not get involved in politics at all." Now, it's worth pointing out that if this one's wife and Harry had some popularity, people would either not say anything about it, or if there would be criticism, it would be fairly muted. People would actually prefer to give them the benefit of the doubt. Well, he's not a US citizen. Yeah, I recognise that, but he's at least trying to get people to do a good thing by getting them to vote. So at the end of the day, even though he can't vote himself, it's quite good that he's trying to get other people to vote. And she's a US citizen after all, so he kind of has an interest there. That would be the more likely response from people if these two were popular. But the fact that they're not, it colours people's views and allows them to vent their concerns and frustrations about the gruesome twosome. The backlash did not end there, and scores of other American voters rushed to social media to condemn Harry and his former actress wife for weighing in on the upcoming presidential election. One person tweeted, "He needs to keep his damn mouth shut. He's not a citizen of the US." Another charged, "Our government is messed up enough without the Spare and Duchess do-nothing getting involved. Go back to England." A third person sneered, "Hey, Harry, fuck off." Well, that's to the point. Harry and his wife, who moved to California in 2020 after turning their backs on the royal family and ditching their royal duties, came under fire at the time for seemingly backing Joe Biden over Trump for that year's presidential race. The Duke was accused of poking his nose into the US election, and critics believe Harry and this one's wife were telling Americans to vote against then-President Trump. Piers Morgan, for of course it's natural for him to want to have a pop at this one's wife, explained, "Prince Harry poking his woke nose into the US election, effectively telling Americans to vote against President Trump, is completely unacceptable behaviour for a member of the royal family." Former Liberal Democrat MP Norman Baker added, "I think it's appropriate for any private citizen to comment on the US election. The problem is that Harry has retained his HRH status and is not a private citizen, but still a representative of this country." Meanwhile, critics have now accused the Duke and Duchess of Sussex of harvesting votes for Vice President Harris to impress the woke Hollywood elite, and indeed, that's a fair accusation to level at this one's wife, because she would want to curry favour with them by way of facade management. Greg Swenson, who serves as chairman of the Republican movement in the United Kingdom, said, "They can't help themselves. By encouraging people to vote, they are essentially ballot harvesting for Kamala. You don't have to say it. Like the man sitting in his car alone with the COVID mask on, you don't need a bumper sticker. We know who you voted for." Every move Harry and this one's wife make is carefully orchestrated to keep them popular among their circle of elites. Well, I wouldn't say it's carefully orchestrated given the fuck-ups that they keep engaging in, but it's certainly the case that these steps are part of an instinctive response to try and maintain popularity within their circles, whilst, of course, making them unpopular amongst the general populace. Swenson stated, "Most woke Hollywood elites are voting for Kamala, but I'm surprised they haven't outright endorsed her." Swenson also doesn't believe an endorsement from Harry and this one's wife would move the needle for Harris. He added, "I don't think they would move the needle. They are known as woke celebrities. I don't think there is any mystery regarding their views that are consistent with the progressive left. The voters who like Harry and this one's wife would probably vote Kamala anyway. I don't think they would change anyone's vote." So a damning article that highlights the backlash in relation to them telling people what to do, and also the suggestion that they're vote harvesting as well. Yet again, the lack of popularity that has been driven as a consequence of this one's wife's behaviour means that whatever she does now, she continues to face criticism, and it's a situation she simply cannot reverse as she continues on that downward spiral. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.